Man, I'm really excited to talk about Escape from New York.
Same.
I'm just happy to finally be done with Terminator.
Same.
Did you guys hear that?
It sounded like it came from your microphone, Isaac.
Same.
Oh no. Was it? Dag?
Not Deg. We just had Pat Robertson, Robert Pattinson, Pat Sajak, Patrick Starr over here to exercise him.
Same.
Is that Dr. Orpheus from the Venture Brothers? I don't know, man. That sounds like a ghost is coming. Did you at least get rid of those trophy deer heads that you found in your attic?
I couldn't bring myself to part with them.
Same.
Boo. Sounds like he's here.
Crap.
I'm kind of freaking out because Big Hungry Jeff said once his chef is over at the hat store at the mall, he's crossing state lines to beat my fucking ass.
Oh, that's Daggerite. Jesus Christ.
When I was in high school, it was cool to have a big dick. Now they think it's cool to have a big asshole. I don't understand this at all.
Yikes. There he goes.
Can't wait to get home and shit in my pants. Here comes the encore. Chef Gordon Ramsay removes his face from between his wife's legs. This is the worst pussy I have ever tasted, and the room's a fucking mess.
Ugh. Is it done yet?
I don't know. I feel like this week's skit is it's a little too much of an inside joke, guys. I think we should probably wrap it up.
Oh, same.
At Dag, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies, gentlemen, ghouls, and ghosts, welcome to another episode of Mischievous Ghost Mondays, the cult gathering podcast where we cover all things bewitched, betwixt, and Beyonce from seam to seam, scale to scale, inside and out. As always, I'm your ghost, Alessi Boo Autumn Fright, and this week I have joining me...
Spooky right.
Is Dead Limb?
Jekyll Reich Monster.
And this week we're covering the scariest topic thus far, the $1.2 trillion that Americans owe to student debt. Ladies, gentlemen, boys, and girls, welcome to another episode of Metal Gear Mondays, the Games Club podcast where we cover all things Metal Gear from left to right, top to bottom, inside and out in pseudo-historical recreational order. I can never remember how that goes. As always, I'm your host, Alessio Summerfield, and this week I'm joined by...
Spooky right. I mean, Sam Right.
Isaac Lim. Lim.
This is a zombie.
No.
I'm back. It's James Reichmuth.
Whoop whoop.
He's back.
Maybe.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
Pew, pew, pew. Skirt?
Hey, skirt. Before we get started, can I do something really spooky?
Oh, shit. Go for it.
Sure.
I'm gonna apologize.
Whoa.
Whoa.
That's spooky to Isaac because
Apology
I listened.
accepted.
I listened to our Terminator 2 episode, and not once but twice during that episode, I re-explained something that Isaac had just said literally seconds before. I did it twice to him, and I felt real bad about it.
You were
so I'm
using
sorry.
your active listening skills. It's
I was repeating what he said, but the thing is, I wasn't.
That's good. It's a reiteration. It's
That's how we get the psychological conditioning through the podcast.
That's
we just
right.
repeat everything.
Yeah, it was the paperclip that Sarah Connor stole, and the key in the car. And it was just like, I was like, Isaac literally said this like 10 seconds ago. Here's me being a fucking asshole.
I love it.
It's all good. I feel like I don't know why in my head all I could think about while you were talking, which shows my active listening, is that I want to see a mashup between Sarah Connor and the Microsoft Word paperclip.
Oh, no.
Oh.
He's like, you appear to be trying to escape from a mental institution.
Mm-hmm.
How may I help you?
I work at Microsoft. I can probably find the guy who made Clippy and make that happen.
Perfect.
Bob?
Let's do that. So
All right. Anyway.
the podcast is going to go off the rails. No, yeah. So we interrupt the scheduled season on movies, which like I kind of feel bad that we're doing this for scheduling purposes because like we've been getting a lot of really positive responses on the movie episode.
People love the
really
movies.
like the movies. They don't want to hear us talk about video games anymore.
I know.
Fuck Metal Gear. They want movies.
Yeah, the people want movies.
I'm alright with that. I like movies.
But yeah, so we're going to be interrupting our previously scheduled movie, Metal Gear Mondays Goes to the Movie season, right as we were about to dive into some Escape from New York, Escape from LA action. We are going to be doing our October Scary Month. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
You even changed the Facebook cover and everything.
I did.
To Escape from New York.
I
and
did.
Now you know we had to do it to
A
him.
little bait and switch.
Yeah, exactly. So I think I can probably just. You guys don't want to we don't want to secretly reveal anything throughout the month, right? It's good if we just go ahead and dive into what we're covering.
Yeah.
Spooky.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's
All right,
do
very
it.
nice. So yeah, so if you, as you're listening to this, which will be releasing on the 8th, we are going to be releasing like 4 episodes and then a listener response episode for this season. So the next episode releasing on the 15th of October is going to be PT. And that's going to be taking on a special format. So we're actually pretty excited. We're going to be trying something new. I will keep that under wraps for right now, but we'll be talking about it off mic after this recording. On the 22nd of October, we're going to be releasing an entire episode on Konami's seminal survival horror hit Silent Hill 2. And then on the 29th of October, we're going to be releasing Castlevania Lords of Shadow. And here's the crazy part. Some of that stuff might sound unrelated. Check it out. Silent Hill 2, Masahiro Ito, the guy who did all the character design. He is the fellow who did all the monsters for Survive.
Oh, shit.
And that Castlevania game is actually a Kojima Productions game.
Hey-o.
So look at that. Look at that.
Look it up, baby. We
Yeah.
did
What
it.
about PT, Alessio? Tell me about PT.
Well,
How is that related to Hideo Kojima?
I have
At
no
all.
idea. But yeah, so the listener response episode will probably be coming out top of November the 5th. So sorry about that. We're not going to be able to keep the whole season contained within the month of October. But definitely write in if you guys have any thoughts on this episode, which is the spookiest moments in Metal Gear, PT, Silent Hill 2, or Castlevania Lords of Shadow. That is the
Write in
original.
and tell us
not the sequel.
how mad you are that we're not doing movies.
Oh yeah, please.
God, please don't do that. Actually. I thought about it, and I think I'm just gonna start sobbing uncontrollably.
No. We're going to be back to movies right after this season. So as soon as we wrap up the listener response, we'll be finishing up our movie season. And then after that, we will have a very special thing that we're going to be doing that I think we probably alluded to in the last episode.
We already talked about
But,
it. I
yeah.
listened to it today.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to be remastering the first season of Metal Gear Mondays. And that's going to be a fun project.
What?
Yep.
That's dope.
Yep. So I think we may even go ahead and do the second season as well. But yeah. This is all part of my plan to never ever have to cover Metal Gear Solid 5. So
And here's a exclusive for you. This guy literally just bought Castlevania Lords of Shadow.
oh, look at that.
So that's gonna get played, baby.
Congrats.
I haven't played my PlayStation 4 since I bought Spider-Man.
Oh no.
I've been playing Silent Hill and Serious Sam, and
Yes.
now Castlevania Lords of Shadow will be my next thing.
Very nice. Before we get into the news, which spoiler alert, we actually have no official Metal Gear news. It's actually all Metal Gear Mondays news. I did want to ask you guys, how are you guys liking the spooky stuff so far? Sam, I know it's your first time, right, playing Silent Hill 2?
Yeah, well, so Silent Hill 2 is actually the first time I've ever actually played a Silent Hill, and I know specifically 3 things about Silent Hill 2, and that is Pyramid Head, which I think everybody at this point knows, and then the joke endings for the game. And that's literally all I knew about Silent Hill 2 going into it. So I've beaten it at this point,
Very nice.
and I had a spoiler alert for the episode. I had a good time.
Oh, very nice. I'm happy to hear that. It's a very good game. What about you
It
guys?
is.
Isaac, James, have you guys started playing it?
Yeah. I haven't beaten it again yet, but I've played it plenty of times in the past, and it's still spooky.
Very nice.
I
Nice.
have not played it, and I really am scared of scary games. So I'm right now in the fog in the very beginning, going down the hill,
I love
and
it.
I'm scared already.
Perfect.
Please tell me it gets better.
I'd like to do a peek. So, in case you guys don't know, on our Patreon if you donate $2 a month, we do a podcast where we talk about games that aren't Metal Gear games, kind of like this season, but always.
Yeah.
And we did an episode on murdered soul suspects.
Oh, yeah.
And Isaac revealed that he didn't play a lot of Murdered Soul Suspect because the demon enemies in that game scared him. and if we're being 100% honest with everything, the demons are really more annoying than scary at all. So I'm really excited to see how Isaac handles.
Sam, they're
Silent
very
Hill 2.
scary.
I'm excited to
annoying.
see if Isaac gets through the first hour of the game.
There were times where I was playing Silent Hill 2 and I had to stop playing Silent Hill
yeah.
2 because it just gave me...
Sam, are you playing with the lights on or
Yeah.
full immersion?
I don't play horror games with the lights off. I don't do full immersion for horror games. I sit far away from my television. I have the lights on. I crank the brightness if I can.
Sam's got
Whenever
one
I
of his
start a
legs
horror
in a
game-
pool of water just to remind
Yeah.
him that he's here.
If I ever start a horror game and it's just like, okay, adjust your brightness so that this logo is barely visible, I'm like, no, I'm going to make that logo as visible as humanly possible. Thank you.
Very nice. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I got a sneak peek at some of Sam's notes while he was playing Silent Hill 2, and they were pretty great. So I'm excited. Yeah, hopefully you guys are also excited for horror games. And if you are too scared to play, hopefully we can help talk to you about it. But yeah, like I mentioned, we don't have any official news this week, but we do have some quick internal news. I'm going to put this at the front just because it's some pretty exciting stuff. Also, real quick, I'm realizing, so James and I are recording in two different places. James, are you recording? You're not in your apartment, are you?
I am in my apartment.
Oh, perfect. Oh, well, I don't think you've ever recorded in there before for this show, have you?
I think I did once.
Okay. So James and I are in two different locations than usual. So if the audio sounds slightly different, it's because I'm like in an all wood room, and I'm hoping the sound is not bouncing around like crazy.
Oh.
But yeah,
They shouldn't make those.
Yeah, I'm in my parents' like guest room, and it's just like covered in like wooden surfaces. So
Wood paneling.
yeah, I'm also in the 70s, and I'm sending this
Hell
through
yeah.
time.
Oh.
But yeah, outside of that though, I wanted to make everybody aware of the fact that we have an Instagram,
We do.
and it's
Pretty cool.
hilarious. Sam is the arbiter of the Instagram, and his edit that he like posted online yesterday was pretty great.
Yeah, I did. So essentially, what I'm gonna start doing is, the idea is to post at least one a week. I'm thinking like on a Monday I'll post. On a
What
Monday I'll
inspired you
post
to
it.
do a Monday?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
There was something that was telling me that it was a good day for it, but
Gotcha.
I really don't remember. But yeah, I'm thinking like on a Monday because I actually did. Yesterday was Monday. Yeah, it was. As we're recording this, sorry. And I posted yesterday's a clip from last week's episode, the Terminator 1 episode, where I took a clip of us discussing Ginger's affinity for sandwiches and Matt's
The Secret Terminator.
sexual prowess.
It was very funny.
And I did some clips, and I liked it. I started working on the clip I'm going to use for next Monday, and
Very
I
nice.
hope you guys like it. You can follow it on Instagram at Metal Gear Mondays, much like everything else except for Twitter, because character counts are a piece of shit.
Exactly. Also, in other news, we're going to be leaving SoundCloud. I would say if you're listening to this, we'll post one more. So if you're listening to this episode we're no longer going to be using SoundCloud. So I will be also posting an update message on there. I think with the free account, I should be able to leave something up there. I will more than likely leave this episode up there for 1 week after release, which means if you are a SoundCloud listener, or that's where you know that your friends are listening, they have until the 15th to evacuate. Because the free account can only hold, I think, like 2 or 3 hours. So I'm more than likely going to have to take everything down, and I'll just replace it with a message just saying, hey, guys, like, listen to us literally anywhere else. We've been double paying for SoundCloud and for Buzzsprout, and with us remastering the first season and plans that we have for future content and stuff, those funds would be better used, allowing us to post additional content on Buzzsprout. So we're going to nuke it from orbit. Outside of that, I wanted to make mention we almost have 300 Facebook likes. I think we're literally like 6 away. This is probably overkill, but if we get 300 Facebook likes before, again, if you're listening to this, before the end of the week that this comes out, so let's say before the 12th. If we get 300 before the 12th, I will do a video of myself doing an interpretive dance to Snake Eater, and I will post it on the Facebook page.
I'm gonna push for it. How many more do we have?
So
6
we're
likes. We got this.
Yeah, come on.
Let's create fake accounts real quick, and then we'll...
Yeah, let's make that happen. No, we're waiting for a friend of the show, Zach James, to get back from his secret. His secret place, because we 200 likes. He's promised to burn his copy of Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake's Revenge. That's right, not Solid Snake. Yeah. And
hey, don't give that a Metal Gear. It doesn't deserve Metal Gear. It's just Snake's Revenge.
It's just Snake's Revenge, and we that didn't happen before he was able to left for his
secret moon base.
His secret moon base in the moon, and I think he's coming home soon. So we'll have to talk to him about that.
Also, yeah, other news. Can we get Zach home, please?
Yeah, get Zach home. It's like The Martian.
But yeah.
I think he's actually in Zanzibar land. Like,
yeah.
Oh, shoot.
He Tron style got absorbed into the video game. Also, I just want to make mention, if you're a patron and you're listening to this, if you're $10 plus, you've got thank you videos waiting for you. Except for Isaac's.
Hey,
I'm scolding him through the microphone.
It's coming, and it's going to be okay. Not too
It's
great.
going to be the most okayest thank you video you've ever seen in your life.
But
I watched James's the other day, and I really liked it.
Yeah, it's pretty great. It's all right. Yeah. Sam's and James's are great. Mine's like pretty vanilla. Isaac's is a mystery at the moment.
I appreciate that you have to. No, I won't say anything that's in the thank you videos, because that's special.
Special. Yeah, and who knows? Maybe I tease this in one of my videos. Maybe there will be more video content for people who contribute at that level. Who knows? Yeah. But everybody else who's at the $5 level, I was going to say, we've got a lot of $5 patrons and not a whole lot of 150-word notes. So if
we want to read those notes.
Yeah.
Listen, I'll take liberties again. I'll fucking do it. I'll just say it for you. So you better send them in.
Yeah. Also, you guys have an extended period of time to send stuff in, because since the listener response episode is delayed by a couple episodes, since we have extended the season inadvertently by sticking a season in a season. You guys still have until the 15th of this month to get us anything on Spooky Month or movies. And we're just probably going to do spooky stuff and movie stuff, depending on what all we get on the spooky listener response.
Super episode.
So, yeah, it's going to be great. But yeah, so you guys have until the 15th. We've gotten some fantastic things. So I'm really excited to share that stuff with you guys, but I'm sorry that we have extra episodes to get through before we get to the shares. But yeah. Let's you guys want to dive into this week's topic?
I'm into it.
No, I'm too scared.
Oh no! So much
I don't
like
want to do it.
Much like the top 5, bottom 5 extra op, we are doing another list episode. This is the top 10 spookiest Metal Gear moments, and this time we actually collaborated and pooled all of our votes using a very scientific voting regimen that was thrust
that somebody
upon us
may or may not have fucked up inadvertently, but we're not going to name names.
Sam,
nobody here. No,
Sam,
of
I
course
didn't know
not.
how to count your infinity vote. I didn't know if that meant really negative or really positive.
Both.
simultaneously.
So we just need to bring it up as like an honorable
Yeah, it's
mention
fine.
here.
But yeah, we've got a couple things that didn't make it on this top 10 list. But we were able to consolidate all of our votes into a top 10 list. Sam, we will have to enlist your Super Smash Brothers voice again, unless you
my
can do a
God,
scary
I've
one.
nev-
Can you say numbers with like the ghost voice?
Could I do?
Are you just gonna do Deg's?
I could do like the. No, I'm not gonna do Deg's voice. I've never done more than 5 before, so I don't know what to do. I'm not. Okay. Well, do we want to start with the honorable mention, or do we want to just start with number?
Yeah, we can start with some honorable mentions, and plus we can also talk about a little bit about how this kind of happened. So
The voting process.
yeah, so I think I just kind of pulled together. I think it was like 25 things, roughly. Maybe it was like a little less, 20. And we just kind of put them all in a spreadsheet, and we all voted from 1 to 10, with 1 being the spookiest and 10 being the least spooky. And then I just sorted everything by number, and much like golf, the one with the lowest number was the winner. And then we just kind of reverse chronologically listed them out. So we're doing them from 10 to 1. So you can have
And infinity.
anticipation.
And infinity means it's both.
Correct. There were a couple honorable mentions. So Sam, I'll let you give yours, and then I have one on the throat.
One of the thing that was on the list we were ranking was the fucking bizarre Senator Armstrong from Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance.
Politics are scary.
And yeah, politicians are scary. That whole this whole alien heart and all that is very weird.
that part wasn't scary
I don't know
at
if
all.
I'd call it. No, I don't know if I'd call it like spooky, but it was definitely scary.
Is that Texas accent made it real scary too?
Yeah, people from Texas are scary.
True that.
Unless you're from
No,
Texas.
unless you're from Texas, in which case you're not scary. Just the other people around you.
It's the fear of the other.
The fear of the other. I think Alessio, what did you ranked it like 8?
Yeah, I was like, it was
And I
kind of
ranked it-
scary. I was like,
Yeah, and I ranked it infinity, so that's my honorable mention.
Yep. My quick honorable mention is just because it's kind of a crossover of a couple things. Lisa and the creepy radio from PT
Oh, yeah.
are in Metal Gear Solid 5.
Spooky.
I think I can't remember where or how, but I think it's one of like the decoy items that you can develop. It's like a
I think
Lisa.
so, yeah.
Yeah.
And then the radio is like in a tent in the Africa map.
Yeah.
And it's real spooky. Legit though, it is kind of spooky because I was coming
It's
off of a
unnerving.
mission where there was like the fog and the skull
yeah.
people, and I was just like, "What is that?"
skull
And I heard the
people.
PT voice, and I was like, "Oh, please God!"
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's mine. Isaac, James, did you guys have any honorable mentions that didn't make it in the top 10?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if this is in the list, but like one thing that always like really spooked me out in 5 is there's like some soldiers that you can find in the field that have like very strange body movements.
Oh,
Just,
yeah.
like stresses me out. Like anything where like bodies are contorting or like moving quickly freaks me out to no end.
Yep, I like it. It's very like Jacob's Ladder, like they
Yeah,
like
oh,
their
yeah.
heads are twitching and stuff.
Big time.
Yeah.
Can we bring up Pequod again?
Oh no, Pequod in that helicopter is so spooky.
Very, very scary.
I promise that there will be some scary things on this list. Isaac, whenever we get to some things from 5 or Ground Zeroes, I don't know how you want to play this. Like, I don't know.
Just
I
close
don't know if
your
we should do
ears.
spoiler free because people listening may not have gotten to 5 yet,
Right.
or what.
Well, I like as we know, we have people who are literally waiting to play this video game until we play it for the show. So maybe we should say spoiler free, and we'll just try and be like,
We'll dance around it.
we'll
Yeah.
dance around it.
No,
sounds good.
spoil it for me.
Well, that way Isaac can talk about it too.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Isaac can ask us questions that we can't answer.
I will say one of my honorable mentions, and this isn't that scary, but it always freaked me out so much.
Well, we've already established that the barrier.
I just
is
want
low.
Isaac
hey,
to
hey.
be like, the inventory screen just really spooks me out.
That sound. Gosh. No, just the in MGS3, the I can't ever remember his name. The Spider-Man guy.
Oh, the fear.
The fear.
The fear.
Spider-Man guy.
Peter Parker.
He's like jumping around trees, and he's twisting his legs and head, and
He's got a tongue.
got
You
that
really
long
got like
tongue.
a thing for him because this is the second time the fear has been on a
Isaac's
list
afraid.
of yours. And you put him on worse bosses because you were afraid of him. And now
he's
on
very
the spooky
scary.
moments.
I don't know why you guys don't think he's scary.
I found some lists online, and the Fury was on some of them, and I guess he comes out as like a space ghost at the end.
Yeah.
But like
A space ghost. I was too angry at the Fury to be scared
right?
of the Fury.
I was like, you hurt me a lot. Go to hell.
Yeah.
And then he did.
Yep.
Well, very nice.
Space hell.
All right. Well, James, do we need to spoiler free any of this stuff for you guys? For you?
No, you can do whatever you want.
All right.
Awesome. All right. I guess I'll
Let's do it.
all right. So I guess I'll start us off. Number 10.
I like that voice. Yeah, so number 10 on our list was revisiting Shadow Moses in Metal Gear Solid 4. Mm-hmm. Yep. Why? What about this was spooky to y'all? Because it was a little spooky to me. Because it's the atmosphere is crazy, the music's real somber, everything's decaying. I kept waiting for things to jump out at me, and I'm pretty sure there are ghosts. Like if you use the camera again,
it's just the suspense of it all. I think. For me, it was the sounds. It was always just. Sounds do it for me. So you hear like all these whispers and.
Oh, you are gonna love Silent Hill too.
What's that?
Nothing.
Say
Nothing.
Oh
that.
no!
Say that
Isaac,
to my
if sounds
face
do
then.
it for you, like you can't play that game. You gotta
Oh
mute it.
gosh. No, to go back to Silent Hill 2, as you're going down that pathway in the very, very, very beginning,
Oh yeah.
and you kind of just hear like something in the distance,
Something?
like
Yeah.
thumping. That I had to stop.
Isaac's like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I had to stop a couple
No.
times.
I'm not like shout.
I love how
Oh,
different Isaac and I don't know why. I'm imagining James just like ordering pizza while he's playing Silent Hill, and he's, like not giving a fuck.
Oh yeah,
Like Isaac's
go-
like hiding under the couch, crying.
Game ain't shit.
That definitely happened.
Bitch ass game. No, I agree with Isaac though. Like I atmosphere and sounds
What,
and like, sound effects.
What's like the context for the atmosphere? Like, why is it? What?
Yeah.
So
So
it's like a somber nostalgia almost because the thing about the thing about, at least in my opinion, the thing about Shadow Moses and Metal Gear Solid 1 was that Shadow Moses as a place I think is already kind of like eerie in the first place.
oh yeah,
Totally.
dude, the first game has a very spooky atmosphere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree.
So now you go back through all of these things. Not only is this place this like originally already kind of like spooky place rendered in like this crazy like PS3 like top of the line graphics at the time, but now it's all worn down and dilapidated and like everything looks a little bit off, and like Alessio and Isaac said, the sounds and the atmosphere kind of add to that. So it's already taking something that's like maybe not the most like settling thing in the world and making it more unsettling just by exploring through it. So you're dealing with this like weird like, I'm nostalgic for this, but also I hate it. Thanks.
Baby, I love you. Baby, you scare me.
Yeah.
Well, and the weird thing too is like, so it literally looks like everybody opened all of the doors at the Shadow Moses facility and then just like left it that way for like 40 years or something. Or however long. I think it's only been like what, 15 years, 10 years or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just weird. It's simultaneously really cool because you're seeing things that you remember fondly. But you're seeing it like, it'd be like if you came to visit your parents and nobody was home and the house looked like raiders from Fallout had moved in.
yeah, that would be freaky.
Yeah, it's just like, oh no, like where's mom and dad?
Where's mom and dad?
But then you find mom and dad and it's the Metal Gear X and you're like, hell yeah, let's rock.
Yeah. Let me pilot my parents.
Yeah. That's what we
Fight
all,
the next door
that's what we
neighbor.
all strive for. To fight the next door neighbor.
Mr. Wilson, I got to
Wilson.
Got a bone to pick with you, you son of a bitch.
Who do you think would win in a fight between Mr. Wilson from Dennis the Menace and Wilson from Home Improvement?
Home Improvement.
Well, we don't know what. Like, I like to think that Wilson's like a demon from the nose down. You
I
just
think
can't
so.
see the rest of his body.
He's got to have like a crazy like steel trap for a mouth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to think that
He
Wilson's just a
is-
Cthulhu monster, like from below the nose.
He doesn't have a mouth.
I say he's probably got fangs. He's like the original Bowsette.
Oh shit!
Oh god.
Don't say that, James, because now
Don't say that.
Now I
You're
need
gonna
to look
set
it up.
Alessio off. Now he's got
How
a.
dare
Now
I
Alessio has.
invoke that name.
Now Alessio's gonna be gone for 15 minutes because he has to jerk it in the bathroom.
I have to go do research.
He has to go do research.
Yeah, you guys
Yeah,
want to move into number
Wilson's
9?
a demon. He can't be saved.
I'm already a Bowsette.
Yeah, so it's too late for Alessio now. Number 9.
Sam, you're scaring me.
Good.
Number 9 is my favorite moment from the boss episode where I got called out for pointing out shit that wasn't bosses. I apologize.
Yeah.
Am I the only? I think I'm the only person with a flawless list on that episode.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see.
You stuck the landing.
Yeah.
I pointed out 2 things. Oil fence vamp is not part of a boss fight, and this thing. So number 9,
God
the invisible soldier elevator from Metal Gear Solid 1. Coming back.
Spooky.
Hey, yeah, that is spooky.
100%
I like
spooky.
it.
Invisible things, bad news.
Yeah, the spookiest
Have
part.
you gotten to that part in the game yet?
I have.
James?
Spooky.
Yeah, so we can just fully talk about that now. Fuck that,
Yeah.
man.
Not great.
The spookiest part is Otacon and like him calling you on the Kodak.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is, like the thing is that when he calls you on the Kodak, when he freaks out, they zoom like a tight zoom on his face, and his face has changed, like his like facial expression has changed. It fucking sucks.
Oh yeah.
Unnerving.
He's like, you gotta get out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love all of it leading up to it though, because it's like you see the elevator. I think like you hear some kind of like weird sounds up until that point or whatever. You get in the elevator, it does the little like and tells you that it's over the weight limit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Otacon's like, that's weird. Like, it should be cleared for XYZ number of pounds. And then he's like, there were those other stealth camos that disappeared from the lab recently. And you're just like, oh, shit. And it's just like the slow reveal. But,
And then the sun is like, you gotta get out of there, Snake.
yeah, it scared the shit out of me as a kid. Especially because I think leading up to it, too, there's no music. It does that cool thing with the Shadow Moses stuff where you just hear, like, the snow falling and the wind.
Yeah, the wind and yeah.
But yeah, so technically they pulled this gag in Metal Gear 2, but it was way less creepy in Metal Gear 2 because it was just like bright G.I. Joe boys like storming the elevator.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well, it's like we kind of alluded to it in the Terminator episodes. Like Metal Gear Solid feels like kind of like a greatest hits from the Metal Gear games, you know, and doing them in a better way.
yeah, the one puzzle from Metal Gear 2 that I wish would have ended up in Metal Gear Solid 1 is like, I wish you had to go find an owl to trick the guards into thinking it was nighttime so you could
Good
paraglide from one tower to the other.
Gosh.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we got the key card, so really,
Yeah, that's true.
same difference.
Same thing. Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 1 kind of like, I mean, I know that we just talked about a thing from 4, but it's kind of technically a thing from 1. 1 kind of like tears up the bottom of our chart here.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty excited about.
Scary.
You remember those invisible boys, Isaac?
On the elevator?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure because you forget things.
Oh,
I
no.
do forget
And-
things.
and-
How can
Isaac,
I?
you
and I
still
love you,
love us
and I love
'cause I
you.
just want to make sure.
Yeah, Isaac. Do you know my name? Do you remember my name, Isaac? Are you?
Is that? Man, you
I
guys are
think
mean.
I think we just introduced Isaac
Isaac.
having I think we just introduced Isaac having Alzheimer's in the podcast.
So you're saying there should be an old Isaac merchandise piece?
Man,
now?
I don't know if Josh Wiley could handle old Isaac and old Sam in the same universe.
Get it.
It's the old Metal Gear Mondays universe.
Yeah. All right.
Very nice.
This this
I heard Sam breathe in.
Sorry, I was getting ready to do the count.
What were you saying, Isaac?
yeah, you get out of here with that.
Right.
I was just gonna say, I think the lead up to the fight was the scary part. I
For
mean,
sure.
The fight was.
Oh, yeah.
Kinda
Yeah.
You're like, I don't know where these guys are, but before that, it was just like my hair tingling kind of what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
I don't know.
Yeah. No,
You
the fight
know.
itself was definitely like put a quip bulletproof vest and then just punch.
It was
Yeah.
like a pretty standard fight once it got going, but like the lead up was what really did it.
Was there? This was a long time ago for me. So, and
Wow.
we all know I forget things.
Hey, we'll be remastering it soon.
Yeah.
Listen, I heard the bite in that. We all know I forget things there. I see you.
No, I was just gonna say, couldn't you equip like IR? Was there an IR type thing?
Yeah, I think
that we
there's
could-
infrared goggles at that point.
Okay,
Wasn't
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if you could use that at that point to figure out where they are.
Oh yeah. And no, I
We're
think
gonna
you can.
find out soon enough.
Yep. Yep.
Well, yikes.
All right, Sam, go ahead and inhale deeply again. Whoa, dude. Are you in a post-hardcore screamo band?
Yeah, that was my Wilson impression.
I love it. No.
Heidi, oh there, Kim.
Oh my god. I like how that we just created like Demon Wilson. Jesus. Yeah. So this is another MGS1 thing. So as I said, tearing up the charts.
Ripping up the charts, man.
Oh yeah. I included this as I almost included this as separate things, but it dawned on me there's just like one perpetual thing, and so it's like the music in the hallway, the "I want you" moment, the fight
Jeez.
itself, the weird masks on the statues, and then like seeing this motherfucker's face. So like it's got to be Psycho Mantis, you guys. Like this whole thing is
Yeah.
just number 8.
Yeah, just
I was thinking this would be
As-
higher up, but
as an existence. Yeah, I'm surprised it isn't higher up, but
Our
kind of get
our
it.
hyper scientific chart definitely
Yeah.
is the most infallible. So
Yeah,
Exactly.
at least it made the
we-
list.
Yeah, we will not be questioned.
exactly,
How dare you?
yeah. Until you do send us an email, and then Alessio
Yeah.
will silently scream in his head, and then contact everybody
Yeah.
else on the show and
Yeah.
and cry.
Too true.
You're giving them too hard. What's
Are you speaking words?
I think
Possessed.
I think
Are you
I'm gonna be
okay?
honest with you. I think I just had a stroke. I'll check in with me in a minute.
Oh no. I think that what you meant to say was that I'm giving them too much information. Maybe.
That's what we're parting the kimono too far open.
It's fine. It's fine. There's no such thing as parting the kimono too far, Sam.
No,
Um,
we wanna open that kimono real wide.
we're just
with
nude.
your permission.
We're just running around naked.
Yeah.
Um.
Is it okay? Is it okay if we jerk off in front of
Oh my god.
Yeah. I mean, no.
Isaac.
I'm sorry. I'm so.
Well, after the skit for the Terminator 2 episode, we know how Isaac flies.
That was a real dark joke,
Oh,
and I'm
man.
very sorry about it.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, it's super funny. I don't want to say too terribly much because I don't want to give anything away. But the somebody that we've been talking to recently was discussing the green marble floors in this building, and it dawned on me that like every aspect of this encounter is great. Like you enter the basement level of that second building, you hear the organ music, like well before this fight actually happens.
Yeah, so you're just like, what the fuck is going on? Because it's not like anything else you've heard in the game that far.
Oh, it's so good. And then it looks, if you remember, it looks like vaguely familiar, like the area to like some of the weird flashback shit that's been happening. And then finally, when you do finally do all the sort of rigmarole to get all the items to get back to the hallway or whatever, once you go in here and like Meryl starts acting funny and then like pulls the gun on you and gets like overtly sexual. Which, like, don't get me wrong. I mean, shit. Like, and we talked about this with James whenever you started playing it again. Naomi's whole, like, I'll let you strip search me when you get back. Like, there is some overt sexual shit early on in the game, but, like, it kind of crossed a line a little bit at this point.
Yeah, because it wasn't like... so, number one, it was very, like... It was directly sexual like that. And also, it was coming from a character who wasn't that.
Yeah, and she literally just said that, like, didn't she? She's like, I have nanomachines suppressing my, like, hormones or something, like, earlier in the game.
Something like that, yeah.
But she just straight, like, if you've seen Vanilla Sky, she straight pulls, like, a Cameron Diaz, like, it's almost, like, the super, super blunt, like, I swallowed your, and you're like, oh, my God. Like, she looks at Snake, and she's like, I want you. ugh, and it's like, oh
Make
my
love
God.
to me, like holy shit.
Yeah, you're like,
Damn,
sweet Lord.
It's also her demeanor too. That just that weird, limp kind of walk.
Oh yeah, and when it's like her voice mixed with Psycho Mantis's voice, kind of for the.
It's like that
that
echoey,
crap. I
like
hate
dual
it so
layered,
much.
because it kind of reminds me the Beauty and the Beast units kind of reminded me of that a little bit, because you have the actresses that play them, but you have like the Fred Tatascore echoey voice in the background while they're speaking as well in the suits. So it was kind of a similar.
Yeah, it's creepy. But yeah, and then once the fight itself starts, obviously, like, you feel powerless because, like, this dude just, like, read your memory card and told you like to play Castlevania, and made you put the controller
Which,
on your
like,
arm or whatever on the floor.
Looking at that now, at the time, it was like super spooky. It's also kind of super goofy,
Oh yeah,
but like in a spooky way.
I like spooky
Like this-
and goofy. That's a fun
Yeah.
hybrid.
Yeah, this
Spoofy.
spoofy. This entry is kind of like a combination of a couple different types of like goofy spook mixed with like legitimately
spook.
unnerving.
Mixed with like literally
Sexy spook.
scary.
The spook girls. The
Yeah,
spook girls.
I can't remember.
Scary spook, sporty spook,
no.
baby spook, ginger spook.
Oh, well.
the other one.
Ginger Spook's listening to her music right now, so she can't hear you.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It was the Twin Snakes version that had the laughing paintings, right? Those aren't in the PS1 version. I don't think the fidelity.
Yeah,
there.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
They
so in
couldn't have made that
the
work.
Twin Snakes GameCube version, there's like paintings on the wall because it's like this like conference room. And in the GameCube one, I guess the fidelity is high enough to where you can see the pictures. And one of them is actually Hideo Kojima, which I find funny. But they like all start laughing at a certain point, which is really creepy.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's creepy.
God, I sure as fuck hope Blue Point's remastering this fucking video game.
Oh yeah, this would be
Holy
great.
shit. Posh! That's the fifth one.
Posh
Sorry.
Spook.
Posh spook. Sorry. Joke complete.
Very, very nice. Sam just puts his hands up in the air, and we all hold up judges' signs.
Stuck that landing.
But yeah, and then on top of that too, especially at an early age, you have to deal with the holy shit, why can't I hit this guy moment of the fight as well. And then he takes his mask off and tells you about how he could read all the minds of everybody in his hometown, and that's why he killed them all. And you're like, what?
Yo, dude, chill the fuck out.
Yeah. So he looks real fucked up and weird, and not at all like he looks in another game that we will eventually talk about. But
Yeah, right. Jesus.
which brings us to number 7, Sam. I like how Sam starts real scary, and then you turn into like a Fraggle Rock monster there at the end. Oh gosh.
Anyway.
So our number 7 is from Metal Gear Solid 5. So you don't have to worry about it, guys. We're not going to spoil anything. Number 7 is specifically there's a hospital sequence that happens within this. Is it the second chapter of the game?
No. It
No?
is the first chapter.
Oh, is it
You
towards
mean-
the end?
Yes.
Okay. So there's specifically a moment where Venom Snake ends up in Africa and stumbles upon this like local hospice
Yeah.
building. It's grody, you guys. Like it's like the
gross.
goriest thing I think in Metal Gear.
It's super gross.
Is it?
The lead up is really cool too. It's like very atmospheric and just like
Oh yeah, because there's no
Subtly.
enemies or anything.
right.
Yeah.
Is it the trailer when they first announced like Phantom Pain? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, you're
No,
talking about,
that's
like, the
we're
hospital
gonna
from the
talk
beginning.
about that. That's the beginning of the
Yeah,
game,
that's
which
coming
is
up.
Oh.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Spoilers.
this is a different
Different
sequence.
hospital.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a lot of
different hospital.
hospitals. I think Kojima's afraid of hospitals.
Maybe.
Aren't we all?
I also want to add on to this, and people who have played it will know what I'm talking about here. There's another section that's kind of related to this entry later, I believe later in the game, the quarantine section. That
Oh, yeah.
I don't think is as spooky, but is still very unsettling and not great.
Yeah.
That I would put up there with this.
Yeah, especially the behavior of the soldiers towards the end of that. Like it's real. Yeah, And oddly enough, the 3 things that we just referenced are like the only fucking 3 things that are worth playing this game for. So let me just show my hand real quick.
They're the only 3 things in the game.
Yeah, you guys thought I was being positive for Metal Gear Solid 5 for a second.
Hey, baby, kill him.
But yeah, so it's just it's a real messed up. They're akin to like what happens to Chico. There's just a bunch of people that have that happen to them, and it's kind of gross.
Chico.
Yeah, Isaac, you got to play it. Hurry up.
I'm on it right now.
Isaac's playing it right now as we speak.
He's playing while we speak. He's trying to avoid playing Silent Hill 2.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
real
the quote unquote the huge air quotes boss fight that happens after this spooky parasite hospital kind of kills all the scariness.
Oh, absolutely. It really sucks the air out of the whole thing. Sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Should we move on to like far greener pastures?
yeah.
Thank you, Sam.
This is very
I
sad.
like it. I like that one.
We
That was like a spooky ghost, but also
Alita,
ASMR.
yeah.
That was a
Very
very what's the word I'm thinking of? Oh man, who are the kids that tell the ghost stories around the campfire on Canadian television?
Are you afraid of the dark, motherfucker?
There we go. I mean, it's on Nickelodeon, but it's definitely a Canadian production.
We declare this edition of Midnight Society officially closed, and then they throw the pocket sand on the fire.
Pocket sand.
Pocket sand.
Wow. Little did you know that's actually crack cocaine.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Shit. Let me get out of that.
Woof.
Let me get at that.
Yeah, so
Crack
number
cocaine.
6, we've got kind of rounding off the bottom 5 of the list. Not bottom 5 as in like worst things, but like the bottom half. We've got the Sorrows Wild River Ride.
This is my favorite ride at Disneyland.
Yeah, this is great, you guys. Like this is kind of like a cool combination of Psycho Mantis and like the eerie hospital kind of thing that we just talked about with 5. This is the part of the game for anybody who's coming in now or maybe hasn't played 3, where one of the Cobra unit so the Cobra unit is sort of like the pantheon of bosses that you're taking out throughout the game. One of the Cobra unit has actually been deceased for a while at the beginning of Metal Gear Solid 3. And so when Snake has an unfateful brush with death, he wakes up in this river filled with ghosts, and they're specifically the ghosts of the soldiers that you've killed while you've been playing.
So the difficulty of this sequence changes depending on how you play the game, because up to this point, you could either have only the bosses that you have defeated because they die regardless of if you do it lethally or non-lethally, or you could have a river full of fucking everybody.
Oh yeah.
If you play like somebody in this,
Like Sam, who just ran around the
panel.
shop.
Nobody here. But yeah.
I do know if
nobody
you
here.
you can literally trank everybody, including the bosses, and you'll just have to deal with the Cobra unit ghosts, I believe.
Yep.
Which is funny because they're just back to back to back. But yeah, just in general, like the whole like the Sorrow's whole shtick is like pretty scary and upsetting.
Because like even if you only, the story is fucked.
Yeah.
Honestly.
So he's Ocelot's dad, and then he got killed by his baby mama.
Baby mama.
Even if you only have to deal with the bosses in the river, like if you've played completely like pacifist, like no killing up to this point, even if you only deal with the bosses, I think we talked earlier about how important atmosphere is to moments like this, and the atmosphere of this river walk is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's real good.
Yeah.
The creepy flying skulls that like chatter are also kind of uncomfortable. Am I remembering it correctly? Is if you look in the distance, isn't like the river, like the sides of the river on fire? Or am I
Think so.
misremembering?
Maybe.
Could be.
Yeah, I know the Sorrow also shoots that tendril. There's like that weird ghost tendril that if it touches you, it just like flashes on the screen like a. And you see
Like they do like a
skull
jump
head.
scare.
Yeah,
like
it's fucking
oh
crazy.
god.
Ugh, Flash. And the fact that you have to walk really slow
That's Isaac's least favorite. He's like, it's so scary
because
I
you
have to walk
can't
so slow.
run away. You just have to do it.
Yeah, you just have to deal with it, man.
look it in the face.
Head on, apply
Isaac.
directly to the forehead.
It's my money and I want it now. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we're leaving out. You literally have to like kill yourself to get out of this boss fight, which is kind of interesting.
Oh yeah.
Don't you have to like
Take
take your little wake up pill or whatever, or use the kill myself pill?
Well, so you get to the end and there's a dead body at the end of the river,
Isn't it
which
the
is
Sorrow?
great. Yeah, it's the Sorrow's body, and you touch it, and then it kills you essentially, and then you have to take the revival pill to wake back up and continue the video game.
I think we talked about this on the MGS3 season, but I don't know if you know this, but when Snake is all battered and bruised up against the tree at the very beginning of the game after he gets thrown off the bridge, you can actually see the Sorrow's dead body under the bridge.
Mm-hmm. We did talk about that. I remember.
So spoopy.
So
It's
spoopy.
foreshadowing spoopy.
Mm-hmm.
It's gore shadowing.
Gore shadowing.
Gore shadowing. I'm goofy.
Should we move to number 5?
Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Ready? Yeah, Furman. And Alessio, I need your help with that one. Can you please cut that so I say it in reverse? Thank you.
Yeah. Sure.
And I also want you to leave this in the podcast.
Oh, of course. Why wouldn't
Cool.
I?
So play it frontwards and then backwards.
Yeah. Cue it here.
Thanks, Sam.
But like before when I said
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 5.
James, you are the one with the freshest memory.
Yeah.
Tell us about number 5.
I mean, hospitals, right?
Well, so what is it?
Particularly.
Fucking hospitals. How do they work?
I'm blurring the lines in my head of what the opening of 5 is versus what is like the ending of Ground Zeroes.
Oh no.
Because it's
Well,
all
they're kind of the same.
Well, so
they
yeah,
blur
well, so-
together so bad, and it's just all upsetting.
I thought you were
It's
gonna
like
say
scary and like a world changing, like I miss my friends, scared
no.
type of way. Like, where are my friends? I'm
I thought you were gonna say
But like
you're.
it's also like
I thought you were gonna say you're
But
blowing
it's like
the
it's
line
also
between the
s-
beginning of 5 and the ending of 5 because they're the same
Oh,
fucking
God.
thing.
But honestly, like
Too.
it is still like pretty creepy on its own merit, like as well. Like I agree with what you said about how it feels, how it feels in that way. But like it's also kind of like it's the hospital it's dark and
A grown man
like-
urinates
It's
all
dark.
over
You
himself.
you really feel the effects of gravity in the
Yeah.
hospital.
you know what I
still don't understand what that joke means.
You really feel the effects of gravity on the
I'm
hospital.
like completely baffled every time it comes up.
Little science joke for you boys and girls out there.
Very nice.
But yeah, it's
I was
real
having a
spooky
conversa-
once you understand
Yeah,
how
what's
shitty
going
it
on?
all is.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I was having a conversation with somebody a while back. I think when I first played it, and it was one of my friends back in Ohio. And what did somebody say? It kind of feels like the step before you show up in Outlast.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, it's almost like the hospital's going off the rails.
Yeah,
I think so. Check it. This has been covered to death in trailers, so I think we can just like outright spell out like what happens. So if you are like hardcore spoiler adverse, I don't know how the fuck you've been on YouTube in the last like 6 years.
yeah.
Or
Give it
however long
like
it's been, but,
give
like,
it
what is
3
it?
minutes.
Yeah.
we're gonna limit ourselves to 3 minutes. So starting, I'll let you know.
Okay.
So starting now.
Perfect. So 3 minutes. Here we go. Essentially, what happens is at the end of Ground Zeroes, there's a little bit of an accident. You wake up at the beginning of 5, hospitalized, and you've been in a coma, and you are under attack in the hospital before you can leave or what have you. And so you are like freshly woken from coma, unable to move your limbs all that well. Also, you're missing your fucking arm.
Your Isaac limbs.
Yeah, and you're just trying to get out of this hospital
which
while it's being
ones?
attacked by people who want to kill you. And they're just fucking
Yeah.
butchering people in the hospital trying to find you. And then there's a man on fire that shows up, and a psychic child, and a whale, and it just everything
The flaming
goes down.
whale.
Forgot
There's
about
a
the
lot
whale.
of like really. there's a lot of like really, really bad stuff that happens in this hospital. And it's like there's a point where you're like you have to lay on the ground and not move because they are literally shooting and executing fucking everybody.
What?
And so you have to pretend that you just got shot.
Yeah, but then Snake pees his pants.
Yeah, he
'Cause he's
he
so
pees his
scared.
pants. And then like, and I'm pretty sure I need to play again because my memory's foggy, but I'm pretty sure like at a certain point, like they're just like, okay. And then they start capping people who are already on the ground. And you're just like, oh my God, your heart just starts like fucking going.
It's literally the most cinematic moment, like the most cinematic gameplay moment in the entire series. And if they could have made the whole game this way, I would have been fucking on board.
Wow, what a cool game that was.
And even like after you leave the hospital, like don't you have that you ride the horse and you have to like run away from the skulls, I think, right? Isn't that
No, it's the Man on Fire.
Yeah, it's the Man.
Oh yeah, you run away. Yeah, you're right. That's right.
It's very spooky.
But like it's like the whole sequence from like the moment you wake up all the way to like, and then like the guy who's helping you, he's got a bunch of bandages on his face. Like it's a big like the whole thing.
Yeah, people are speaking
is a
foreign
fucking
languages with
mess.
no subtitles until you beat the game.
Yeah, it's like the fucking it's a big honka burning mess. literally and figuratively.
Yeah, the David Bowie cover that plays is like equally spooky as well at the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a lot. So we're at 2 minutes and 25 seconds. What do you guys want to do for the next 30 seconds? So that
So much time.
so much time. Because the people who are listening, who
they're just like,
don't care
great.
about spoilers, they're just like, hey, now what do we do? Because
I'll say something real fast. So if you pay attention in the background, there's a statue of somebody on a horse while you're fighting the Man on Fire towards the end. If you look very, very carefully, it actually turns into the boss whenever you're playing the secret ending
Fucking
thing.
what? We don't have time to go over that because we only have 5 seconds, but holy shit, I didn't know that. Oh, that's actually really fucking cool. 3 minutes, welcome back. Holy shit.
Wow, I
okay.
sped talked that out of my mouth hole.
You
That was
did.
good.
You just like
All right.
spat that out your butt.
So on to number 4, I guess, which ties directly into number 5.
Number 4.
I know who you sound like when you do that. You sound like Cobra Commander from the animated G.I. Joe film.
I was once a man.
100%. Yeah, that movie.
Oh,
that's a
that's
fucking great movie. Yeah, because he becomes a literal snake. It's a very weird movie.
It's a lot. Yeah. It is a lot.
Yeah, so number 4 is from Ground Zeroes. This one's less supernatural scary and more just like people or pieces of shit scary.
Yeah, it's just like bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like the world is bad. Scary.
Well, it's like so. I think a lot of my favorite episodes of like shows that
Where is this going?
I'm ready for
Well,
it.
like there's like shows and things like that. Like there's an episode of the X-Files that is legitimately one of the most unsettling
Oh, yeah.
things I've ever seen in my life, and it was just people.
'Cause you could almost say that
episode.
people are the worst monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like-
there's an episode of Doctor Who, I think, that's like really scary, and it's literally just people. Like it's all just people.
Yikes. So I feel like we should probably just kind of say kind of what happens. So the entire premise, as you guys know again from
All
trailers.
right, 3 minutes. No,
Oh, yeah.
no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
As
Don't.
you guys
I'm
know
kidding.
from the trailer for Ground Zeroes, which literally is just like all of the cutscenes in Ground Zeroes except for the end.
Yeah.
Chico and Paz and Isaac, I don't know if you know this or not. So Ground Zeroes is literally like, how long is it? It's like 6 months or a year after
It's,
Peace Walker?
It's about a year.
Yeah, so Miller gets some sort of notice somehow that Chico and Paz have wound up found by some sort of weird U.S. government offshoot, and they're being held at Camp Omega, which is essentially like Guantanamo Bay, and they're being sort of potentially tortured, and so Snake kind of uncharacteristically is like, I'm I'm just gonna show up and we're gonna deal with these kids. Like I can't remember if it's Snake or Miller. I'm pretty sure
it's Miller.
Yeah, Miller's just like kill these kids.
And Snake's
Jeez.
Yeah, Miller becomes just like the fucking
Miller's out for blood.
Clint Eastwood in this.
Miller's like, I'm gonna need you to put down some children.
Yeah, get off my lawn, kill these children.
But yeah, so your whole mission in Ground Zeroes is to just save these kids.
Yeah.
And Paz, unfortunately, sort of meets a little bit of a darker fate than Chico does. I don't want to spoil what actually happens, but we could probably talk about what's on the tape.
Yeah, well, and I was gonna say too, without like actually saying what's on the tape, the tapes contain like what are some of my favorite like lines that lead to crazy theories about this whole game.
Oh yeah, I guess it is
like,
that tape.
Yeah.
But yeah, and as you guys have seen from the trailer, the big baddie, who is this like weird burned face dude with a cowboy hat, skull face, he's fucking great, but he just does not get enough screen time in the game.
Okay, I have a question. I don't remember him having the cowboy hat and the mask in the promotional stuff for 5, but then 5 comes out and he has the fucking cowboy hat and the mask.
So he has the hat in Ground Zeroes.
Right.
He has the hat, but not the
Yeah,
mask. The mask is
he's got like a
throws me off.
Zorro mask in the game.
Yeah, in 5, it's fucking weird.
He's the Hamburglar.
Yeah, it is very much of the Hamburglar. Yeah, he's got like Ocelot street style with the Hamburglar's mask and Clint Eastwood's hat.
It's so fucking weird.
But anyway, so the tape, little bit of like a. So if you guys are going to play Ground Zeroes for the show, just know that like the pause tapes, a little bit of a trigger warning if you don't want to listen to literally sexual assault happen. It's pretty grim. Like there were like articles that were written when the game came out that like, is this too far of a line? Like, yes, they could have illustrated that this happened, but like you effectively like listen to it happening.
Do you have to listen to it, or
no?
is it
It's
one
like a
of those,
secret tape or whatever.
Right.
But there's like I think there's like a few tapes of pauses that you can find, and they all give you
There's
like
a few,
information as to
and
like
some
what's
of the
happening.
graphic ones are like long. They're like 8-9 minutes long.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's like a little audio play. I mean, it's actually it's
Yeah.
really well produced. Like they
Very
did a
well
really good
produced.
job with it. It just sucks that one of them is Paz being sexually assaulted. But yeah, so that's
I don't know.
and then
Maybe today's world needs more shit like that.
oh no.
Like to make people aware, like, hey, this shit happens and it fucking sucks.
Yeah, maybe. There were a lot of thought pieces that came out where people were just like, "Oh fuck, like this made me uncomfortable in a way that like I kind of recognize that this is super fucked up now a little bit more."
Yeah, it's like make people like when you say, oh man, we're gonna get
Oh shit.
righteous for a
shit.
second. When you see shit like that on Twitter, like if you're a sane human being or a decent human being, it sickens you, obviously. But like there are people who just don't get that sexual assault and things like that, and is monstrous. And I think like hearing it and seeing it like explicitly, I mean, is a way that it could be driven
Like
home to some
educational.
people.
Yeah, I could see it both ways. I think on the one hand, it's like, yeah, it's educational in that it like sort of, if you're a good human being already, it just kind of it solidifies that this is fucked up. I think unfortunately, if you're a bad person though, it might actually like get you excited to listen to that if you're kind of a fucked up human being. But who knows?
Maybe. And I also don't want to like undercut the fact that like people who have gone through it maybe also
Playing.
don't want it for
Yeah.
those kind of reasons. So I'm not trying to like say like, oh, we need
For sure.
a sexual assault
Simulator.
audio drama in every video game that we like. That's not what I'm trying to say. I think yeah.
No, I hear
it's
you.
just it's all fucked up.
I will say, and this is spooky in its own right. I will say when I heard it, I don't think, for me, my initial response is I don't know if this goofy fucking video game series is the most appropriate venue for this sexual assault tape to exist.
Yeah.
Like it felt very
Yeah,
out of
that's
character
very
for
true.
Metal Gear. Like, I guess in a way that 5 is also kind of out of character in how dark it is. It's not very funny.
Oh, not
Yeah,
at all.
well, that's the thing. I think it's out of character for the series. I think it's not out of character for the games that they like, for Ground
GZ
Zeroes. I
and
don't
5.
think it's yeah.
That's fair. Well, cool, Isaac. Look forward to that.
Great.
Yay. All right, let's move on to number 3. I
Anyway,
guess.
yeah, I don't want to be here.
Yeah,
anymore. I don't
I
like
gotta
this.
get out of
I don't
here.
like this space that we've created. Let me see. Number 3.
Wow. That
Fuck if I know what that was. Holy cow.
was great. It was great.
It was a good try. That's what it was.
It was
Thanks,
a
I
good
hate
try. Yikes, Isaac.
No, you know.
Well, you're not gonna remember it in an hour anyway. So it's like
Sam.
whatever.
Jeez.
Wow,
that.
me and Isaac, we duking it.
Right.
Sam's the only human being to have beef with Isaac, I think.
No, I love Isaac.
Sam,
Isaac,
you said
we have to protect
4.
Isaac at all costs. Isaac, you must be protected and treasured at all times and at all costs.
Number 3, we're throwing it back. We're throwing it back old school. We're back to MGS3. Number 3, I think we vaguely covered it on the show because it's something that you can do, but it's not something you can do with any modern copies of the game. So the original copy, and I think the original subsistence copy, so both PS2 exclusives, the nightmare sequence so I believe it's after Snake wakes up in jail, you can immediately, it prompts you to save after Snake loses his eye, and after he loses his eye, you can save before it brings you back into the game, and if you turn the system off, turn it back on, and load it from that save point, not from like a post cutscene save point, you are playing Snake's Nightmare. And I guess it's this game that's been sort of nicknamed Guy Savage. It is like a Devil May Cry-esque, weird black and white sepia tone. You're in a warehouse killing pig cops by slicing them into pieces. It's very creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any context for this, or is it just has?
No, there's not even a little bit of context.
Okay.
There's real world context in that apparently Konami, like somebody was like building an alpha for this new game or something. And I think one of the team members thought it would be fun to like throw it in. But I don't know if there's any, I don't think there's any like somebody will talk to you about it on a Kodak call, I think. Afterwards, like if you call everybody, I think somebody will be like, "Are you okay?" And like he'll kind of describe the nightmare or something. But that's about it.
Huh.
Yeah. Did anybody actually ever play this like live on the PS2? Did you play it, Sam?
I did, yeah. It's I remember reading some context about it in the past because at one point I think you have a conversation with, as we've discussed before, paramedic. Her whole shtick, you know, you've got Mei Ling who talks about Proverbs, you've got Rose who talks about fucking nothing, and then you've got paramedic who talks about movies when you save, and
Kind of like us now.
yeah. And she brings up Dracula, and I guess Snake is afraid of Dracula. So this is like a vampire dream, and then if you call her back after and he talks about the dream, he blames her for scaring him about vampires.
Oh my god. Who knew?
Wonderful.
I didn't know Snake was afraid of vampires. Does that mean that Solid Snake's really afraid of Vamp?
Maybe.
Also, one weird thing that I discovered when I was doing research for this episode, did you know that Vamp and Fortune's dad were lovers?
Whoa.
Are you fucking...
No, that's like a
serious
real
right
thing,
now?
apparently. Apparently it's like in a Kodak conversation.
What?
We talked about
Did we?
this in the season.
I'm
Yeah.
Isaac now. By the end
my
of this
God.
episode, we're all going to
Come the
become Isaac.
Fuck.
Um,
Except for
guys,
me, because I remember everything. Call me fact check right.
Fact check, right. I like it.
You guys make fun of me for fact checking you guys all the
No,
time.
do it,
Now-
dude. We need to.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do it, other people are going to do
No.
it, and then I'm going to get
True.
sad.
Yeah, no, we talked about that. We
Real
talked about
shit.
this in the Metal Gear Solid 2 season, and how the name Vamp is
Oh, yeah.
multiple meaning name and things like that.
Very nice. Cool. Do we want to go on to
yeah.
number dose, or does anybody have any questions?
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, I actually do remember that conversation.
Oh, shit.
Thank you very
Oh
much.
fuck!
Oh, no.
Get him, Isaac. Get him.
Oh,
I'm on your
no.
side now.
It's
Anyway.
okay.
The
I
Romanian
forget a
wizard
lot
with
more
knives.
things.
There's Sam.
Like, I'm sorry, the Romanian. Well, number 2.
Yeah, guys, this is real high up on
Did
my
I-
list.
Did I scare you?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Jump scare there, or did that come through, or
Yeah,
because I know it's like if you have like if it was too scary, I maybe want to do it again because I don't know if like people have like a heart condition.
I'm scared. Are you gonna do it again?
Make it really.
Is this what you're doing? Are you whispering so we get down to your level and then you're gonna scare us?
No, because I wouldn't bring myself like that's like the lowest common denominator of what you could. You believe me or don't believe me.
Sam's been slowly, subconsciously just slipping in little tiny things in the background throughout this podcast so that you're going to be scared to sleep tonight.
I believe it.
You're going to be scared to sleep, and you know why? It's because number 2!
Oh, God.
That one kind of got me. Yeah.
That one was pretty good.
Thank you.
Oh, no.
So for real, if it's too scary.
Pretty good. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
I'm reviewing your countdown.
Says easily
Sam's
scared
top
Isaac.
10.
Yeah. After this podcast is over, I need you guys to take all of my countdowns and rank them 1 through 10, and then I'll do another countdown.
Love countdowns.
Number 10, it's number 4, and then let's just go from there.
It's pretty great. So number 2 is actually what, if my friend Arthur is listening, it's what got him his copy of Metal Gear Solid 1 taken away from him by his parents.
Ooh,
I could see that.
So I used to, and I've probably told this story a million fucking times. I used to play this game with my friend Arthur. It was the first time other than the Pizza Hut demo disc, I think it was the first time I got exposed to like the full game. And so I remember being like very spooked by this game because really the only exposure that I had was the Pizza Hut demo disc, and then number 2, which is Cyborg Ninja's hallway in Metal Gear Solid 1. And it's fucked up, man. A lot of dudes get killed.
It is.
They get thrown at walls. You hear like weird whispering and stuff.
It's unsettling.
Yeah.
It's
very unsettling. Here's what I'll say about this. I'm gonna be contrary here for a second.
Oh shit.
Please forgive me. Seems
like I hate it.
I don't hate it. I think it's very good. I think it's a very good segment. I think it's very atmospheric. I think it's very spooky. I'm surprised that it's here over Psycho Mantis.
Oh, I could believe it. Yeah. That's true.
But who am I to argue with the process? I like this moment a lot. I kind of want to tack on the battle that happens in the next room as well.
Only if I get to tack on the sounds that you hear in the room before as well.
Yeah, sure. Can we also tack on Hal Emmerich urinating on himself?
Only if we can. Tack on the Nikita missile having to hit the electric box. I just want us to do this until we just describe the whole game.
Sure. Only if we can tack on the codec call you get in the snowfield warning you of Des Mines.
Oh no,
Des Mines.
That's the second.
Oh wait, you went before. You're supposed to go after. I'm doing before.
Oh fuck!
Come on,
the second
Sam.
Game. That's also the second game, so I went way after.
No, it's the first game. The second game, there's no snow.
But the accent.
Oh, I see.
The accent. See, I fucked it up already. Anyway.
Sam,
we need to pay more deference to the source material.
What do you
Sam,
want?
I just want to say.
I was gonna say, what do you want, Isaac?
You gave Psycho
Mantis
a rating of 4, and Cyborg Ninja a rating of 2. So
yeah, you're a liar.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys should fucking calm down with your fact checking.
We get Isaac fact check Lim.
What the fuck, Isaac fact check Lim, dude? Get the fuck out of here. Fake news. Anyway, no, but for real though, I coming in hard. For real though, this was I was serious about adding the battle like kind of to the end of it, just because of like the battle is very weird and like him screaming like "hurt me more" and like all that kind of stuff. It's like it's very.
He sounded kind of like that actually, Isaac. Good job.
Yeah. It's welcome. Like you have this very like weird creepy moment approaching the thing, and then you have like the scene where Otacon explains some shit to you, and then here comes this dude that just did all of this shit that you just walked through, and he wants you to hurt him, and you can't until you figure out what the fuck to do. Like it's pretty good.
Yeah, the whole room's destructible, which is pretty cool. Like all the glass and computers and shit will break. I had a quick question for you guys. Cyborg Ninja's hallway or Vamp's hallway from MGS2? Do you guys have a preference?
Well, oh Oh, you mean like the...
Yeah, I think Vamp's
where you-
hallway
where
is
you mean-
gorier technically, but I think
Vamp's
I think
hallway
Ninja's
is-
creepier.
Ninjas is creepier, Vamps is gorier.
Yeah, he bites those boys.
Yeah,
Just like I want Balzette to bite me. No, I'm kidding.
Holy
Whoa.
shit. That was
Damn.
that is spoilers, that's our number one spookiest moment.
I was not prepared.
I'm sorry, guys.
I was not prepared for that.
I just want
Unless,
I just
you
want
know,
monster girls to step on me. All right, I'm
I
sorry.
was Oh my god, Balzette has awakened something. No, it's not. No, I guess Balzette hasn't awakened. It's always been there. It's just now it's
Just
like
beneath the
bubbling
surface.
on the surface. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah, we're all here now.
I've known Alessia for a long time, and
Oh no.
he
Just always want to get stepped on.
just always wants to get stepped on by monster girls. How's you need to stop me if this is too personal. How's the crusade to get Kristen
To
to
talk
dress
Kristen
up as
into
Balzette
dressing
for
up?
Halloween?
I have no idea. I've not been home in 2 weeks, so I have no idea.
Oh man, maybe that'll be a surprise when you get home.
Yeah.
She'll just be dressed as Balzette, and
Oh no.
then you can die.
I literally just instantly die. I'll be on the news. But yeah,
Anyway,
Cyborg Ninja's hallway.
Alright.
So a man gets
Cyborg Ninjas.
chopped in half
It
on a
does.
PS1 game.
You don't see that often.
it's like
Yeah.
it reminds me. We used to bring up Metal Gear Awesome a lot
yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
in our first couple of seasons of in our first season.
We were running out of
the
material.
podcast, but the hallway it's a great moment and it's a great scene. It always reminds me of the scene in Metal Gear Awesome though, where it's like, and then a guy goes, "Oh, that was kind of nice," and then he gets stabbed.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, it's pretty great. For me, this hallway had extra spookiness because, and I think I told the story as well. My MGS1 disc was scratched, and so it would the disc.
You
would
can never get past
Yeah,
it.
it would just like lock up in the room right before the hallway. So I would hear the creepy noises, and then a snake would go to open the door. It would just freeze, and it'd be like a 1 in 4 chance. So for me,
yeah.
it was extra spooky because I was like, "Am I actually going to get to play the fucking game?"
The true fear.
Yeah.
True fear.
But yeah, should we do something grandiose for this number one?
Okay, I've got
Oh shit.
one. Number 10. I'm kidding. It's number 1. You thought that you went back in time and you had to listen to this whole podcast over again, but it's number 1 actually.
Well, I was really scared for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, love you. Mwah. Number 1.
Isaac, I want to hear you describe what number 1 is.
Oh gosh, no, you don't.
Yeah, tell me because I feel like
Fumbling
you
in the
probably got
dark
real
with
spooked out
Isaac
by this.
Lim.
Yeah. Okay. So, mind you, I was playing at like 2 a.m.
No, perfect. Those are the
Yeah,
primo
yeah.
conditions for this to happen.
and I wanted it to be cinematic. So when I was playing, so I had the lights off. Blah blah blah.
Oh yes.
Didn't think anything was gonna happen. I was,
Little did he
just
know.
happily playing Metal Gear Solid, and all of a sudden,
2 Sons of Liberty on the PlayStation 2.
all of a sudden, you hear these like
Variety level 13. Rescue Meryl. The return of Genola.
exactly. You hear Colonel Campbell coming over and just saying garbage and gibberish. And you're like, what's going on?
Actually, I'm in really bad shape
Oh, no.
financially. I pay money to my ex-wife as part of our divorce settlement, among other bills.
Dude, my
I had no choice but to make you pay for lunch the other day. I'm really sorry.
Colonel? Sam, you're freaking me out.
I think my favorite is whenever he was like, "I saw a strange man leaving Rose's room the other day."
But then his voice gets more and more messed up.
When you can see like his skull through his face
Ugh.
during
Yeah.
part of it too.
Kawanichi, Nozuguchi, Kuribashi, Takayama, Ishigami,
Sam, you're freaking me out.
Hana,
Say the other one.
that.
Say the
Bueno,
last
setting.
one.
Yamashita, Sasame, Kofure, Toaraki,
Oh my god,
Why is he so good at that?
he's
are
really
really
he's
good
always
at
been
that.
really good at that. I don't know why.
It's scary.
Hey, Sam, do the scissors one.
What is,
the fuck does
what
that
is it
mean?
the other
That
I
one.
can't remember.
Is the freakiest one.
Well, that's like the one. That's like the canonical one that everybody's like, "Oh
Yeah.
man."
Yeah. I hear it's amazing when the famous purple stuffed worm in Flapjaw space with the tuning fork does the raw blink on Harakiri Rock. I need scissors. 61.
So Isaac, what'd you do when he got to the one where he calls you out?
What did I do?
So at a certain point, the colonel just goes, I don't know if he calls you Raiden or if he's like, hey, you've got to stop playing. Turn off this game console. You've been playing for far too long. Your eyes are going to, like, go bad or something crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I think, I froze for a second there, and not going to lie.
I think, like, literally the first time I played it, me and my buddy James had been up, different James, had been up, like, all night playing through it together, and he had fallen asleep, and I was playing by myself. And when that moment happened, I legitimately, like, put the controller down and, like, turned the system off. I was like, all right, I'm good.
You
I'm
wouldn't
going to
be
bed.
trying
Thanks,
to give
Colonel.
yourself a bogus score using some ingenious trick, would you? That's just about as low as anyone could possibly stoop.
Wow.
I can't believe you sometimes.
Yeah. Also, when they replace your radar with, like, the supermodels during the photo shoot in the top right, it was a little weird as well.
Snake, remember what De Gaulle said. The graveyards are full of indispensable men. Snake, you're all alone, surrounded by bad guys. Try to be careful and avoid getting into a fight whenever you can.
Where do you find the script for this, Sam?
It's all in his head.
Sam's just plucking it from the ether.
I will say they do a really good job with setting the tone and the pacing on the codex.
Yeah. Well, I think outside of that, too, I think it's, like, less the codex. The codex are a huge part of it, but it's, like, not just the codex. Like, when you pause the screen, typically you have that map there the whole game. When you pause it at this last part of the game, it's, like, a picture of, like, a snake wrapped around the shell of a turtle. And it just, like, I think it changes every time you press pause. Like, I think sometimes it says, like, 34th Street, and then sometimes it's, like, ascending colon, and then, like, other times
I forgot about
it's, like,
that.
just really weird shit.
Yeah.
And the music is super weird, too. Like, it's that like, weird, like, with, like, this, like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's, like, this weird, like, soundscape. Not to mention the fact that you're running around butt naked and you're unable to do anything as well.
Honestly, though, you have played the game for a long time. Don't you have anything else to do with your time?
Yeah. Oh, and Rose chimes in, too, I think, a couple times in some of these. The whole thing's very peculiar. I'm really excited to get returned to Metal Gear Solid 2. So.
You seem to get a real thrill out of slaughtering the enemy. Are you frustrated about something?
Yes. It's good. I don't know if the series ever got that creepy ever again, if I'm being real with you guys.
Wow.
It's a very spooky moment. But yeah. Does anybody have any questions, comments, extra thoughts? Do we have a number 0 that we want to announce?
Oh, shit.
Lolly loo lay low. Lolly loo lay low.
Sam's just-
Lolly loo lay
Is it
low.
just Sam forever now?
I was going to say, I think Sam's the real number 0 here. 'Cause Sam's freaking me out.
Oh no.
Number 2!
Oh no.
Okay, I'm done now.
There it is again.
Sorry.
There he is.
There it is again. There it is again. It
Here
happened.
she comes.
I woke up. Sorry, I was asleep. I was asleep. What? I was asleep through that whole one. I don't know what happened.
Oh no. But yeah, just to reiterate, those were our top 10 spooky moments in Metal Gear. If you have your own top 10, we want to hear about them. Next episode, we're going to be covering PT. We're going to be doing some experimental shit, and then we're going to be doing Silent Hill 2 and Castlevania
I do
Lords of
really
Shadow.
quick. Can I throw another one back to the honorable mentions?
Yeah,
I forgot to
absolutely.
mention.
Go for it.
Metal Gear Solid 4: The Laughing Octopus Battle.
Oh, correct. So that was actually
definitely.
number 11 on the list. So it didn't make
Oh,
it by
nice.
like a margin. I think it was number 11.
Yeah, I really liked that battle a lot. It was very, hide and seek and creepy, and
Especially when she
mannequins.
dresses down, I guess, and it's like the weird, creepy laughing and like the hug thing. You know what I'm talking about?
When she's Beauty?
Yes.
Yeah,
Or, like
yeah,
at the
yeah.
end.
Very, very,
Yep.
very peculiar. And you're in that tiny little entrapped area as well. I thought it was cool. But yeah.
But anyway, sorry.
No, you're totally fine. That was pretty much it. Again, if you guys have listener responses for this, please get them in before October the 15th. We'll make a call for that on social media. Before I plug show things, do you guys want to plug your things?
Yeah,
That sounded gross. Vaguely
I'll
sexual.
plug my things with something. With something, all right. I'll
What
tell
you got?
What? Bowsette.
Oh, God.
What up, bro?
You can follow me on Twitter at Sanjul, SANJUUL. I tweet funny stuff. I tweet stuff about depression and how everything's going to be okay.
That sounds really funny.
Well, I mean, like it's like a combination of things. I decided that I was going to use my fucking Twitter for good instead of being an asshole all the time.
You were like, I tweet really funny stuff, and then you didn't even say like
I said,
I
also
tweet. Oh, do you? I just heard it as I tweet really funny stuff about depression.
I tweet
Savage.
funny stuff. I also tweet stuff about depression and how I deal with it.
I'm sorry,
and sometimes I do actually mix the two together.
Sometimes he gets really mad at Alessio.
Yeah, sometimes he gets really mad at Alessio. I like what I'm doing. It helps me deal with some stuff to talk about it, and I think that it maybe has helped a couple of people. And if it helps you, follow me on Twitter. And also, you can go to bit.ly/MGM store to buy some merchandise. We've got a lot of stuff there for you to check out. I wanted to really quick give a shout out to Jack Keating, who bought one of the It's Just a Box pillows and made me real emotional this morning.
Yeah.
We can't take you with us, Jack.
Yeah, I made that, and it's on a pillow, and it's like it exists in somebody's life, and that feels really, really cool.
Did you see what else is in that picture? He was playing VR missions. He had the pillow, and then there was also a Terminator 2 Blu-ray on the ground.
Yeah, there's a copy of Terminator 2 on the ground, which is really good. There's another one that I also wanted to give a shout out to Scott Fox.
Oh yeah,
who also purchased a T-shirt. And thank you very much,
Donkey. Isaac, you got plugs?
Hey, plug me up. I'm at doesn't have a twit.
No, he's not.
Doesn't have a twit.
He's there, but he's checked out.
Yeah,
Sam, you can't
Isaac
tell me what
doesn't
to do.
use that.
I think Isaac forgot his password.
One would hope.
You know, because we're talking about how he forgets things. Blah, 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 blah.
Very nice. James?
Hey, you can find me on Twitter at James Reichmuth or at jamesreichmuth.com.
Wow. That was very, you've been practicing? That's great.
It was subdued.
That's good.
Thank
It's
you.
very subdued.
You can find me at AC Summerfield on Twitter. I just realized I haven't updated my website in way too long. I kind of halfway did. I'm sorry. ACSummerfield.com. I'll fix it, please. And you can check out the show if you want to support the show. Metal Gear Monday on Twitter, but everything else is Metal Gear Mondays. We're also at MetalGearSolidPodcast.com, which is pretty great. And you can check us out on Spotify, Google Play, and everywhere else that you get podcasts, iTunes, etc.
But not SoundCloud.
Not SoundCloud anymore. You should tell your friends about the show.
Yeah.
Because we have been sitting pretty high at about like 1,600 listeners a week, roughly. We want to see if we can push it into like the 2,000 mark. So with you guys' help, hopefully we can do that. And that doesn't necessarily mean like physically tell anybody. It would just be awesome if like folks shared it on Reddit or like talked about it on Twitter or whatever. And that doesn't cost you any money. But if you do want to do something that costs money as opposed to social cachet, which I know not all of us have, you can kick us any amount of money, but $2 a month gets you a whole new podcast that we talked about earlier, as well as one episode, the top episode of every season early. And you get the whole season early. So you get the whole season early. And yeah, those will come to you as they record. I apologize to anybody who has not received an early episode for the last week because I've been traveling. But for those of you who were due an old episode, I actually uploaded a whole bunch of DJ sets, old music of mine and Isaac's, like the whole discography and like every video that we ever had for that band onto a special Patreon post.
I want that.
Isaac, if you donate to the Patreon.
Straight up, Isaac, we had somebody like call out some songs. I can't remember who it was, but they're like, Glitterous is a really cool song. And I was like, yes. Man. Old school.
That's cool.
So yeah, that's on there. So I think it's
also
3 hours of like DJ set and a bunch of other stuff.
That's badass. I actually really want to hear that stuff.
Yeah, But yeah,
So,
you guys should do those things. And
another thing that I want to call out too is like we talk about like sharing the podcast and things like that. Another thing that we haven't talked about in a while is going on iTunes and leaving a 5-star review.
yes, we've not done
And
that in a while.
comment stuff like that. We haven't talked about that in a while, but that is also important. We realize that people do still use Apple Podcasts and iTunes and stuff like that to find. I say we realize people still do, as if it's not one of the most popular things to listen to podcasts on. But people use. I mean, that's how we get seen on there. So if you want us to get more popular, go on there and leave us a good review.
If you wanna make us
we haven't
popular.
talked about in a while. We've got the reviews on iTunes are usually like, hey, you guys are so great, and we've kind of vowed not to read those. And kind of like self-inflate our egos a little bit, but I just wanted to give some shout outs because we've had a few since we've been back that we didn't talk about.
Nice.
So M Smith 5279, AE Thrasher, LifeWise, Lincoln
I see a bunch.
64.
I think we only had like 24 or 25 before last we checked.
Mm-hmm. And then Reborn Jumpman all left us 5-star reviews, so thank you to all those people. This one I am gonna read because it's short and it's fucking hilarious. We got a 5-star.
Yeah, I think it's the one that I'm looking.
We got a
at right
5-star review. Yeah, we got a 5-star review from Jesse in Zanzibar Land that says almost as great as Snake's fat booty. So thank you, Jesse in Zanzibar Land. We appreciate that a lot. So yeah, go on iTunes and leave us a review, and that helps us get seen even more places than we already are.
I'm happy to see like what I thought was like an inkling of what people did, but I'm happy to see that like somebody just straight like called it out, like Reborn Jumpman, just like real quick. Said he started at episode 1 because apparently he has OCD. I don't think you do have OCD. Everybody starts at the first episode.
Yeah, we've got people who write us in constantly who are just like, I started listening to the first season, and that's why we're remastering the first season.
Yeah, like when
that's
like we
the whole reason why
we love getting feedback, but it's just really funny to me that like we're still getting feedback on the first episode, like all this time in the future. So yeah,
and it's just like I like my favorite thing. River, and I don't think we've said the last name. He's interested to see how we pronounce, but River Bauman. I'm going to say Bauman. Has sent us some stuff, and he's kind of commenting as he's listening to the podcast. And I think my favorite part, he sent me this, like, he got to the part right before the hiatus, and he sent me this really like heartfelt, like really wonderful email that I appreciated a lot, talking about how he's going to miss my voice on the podcast and all sort of stuff like that. And I was writing back, I was like, that's real sweet of you, dude. Just the thing that you're missing by listening to it, just binging it like this, is that you missed a full fucking year where we didn't do the podcast. And I'm totally still here. Yep. So thank you. I appreciate it. But like, you don't gotta miss me. And then I think he like, I think it was River who came back as like, and then Sam talks about leaving like a dad, like a dad leaving his family, and then comes back and he's like, oh man, took me forever to find the milk, or something like that. So
I just want to throw out there real quick, I just discovered something, and it actually makes me like really sad. So one of the other Metal Gear podcasts that had been coming up with us for a long time and had like a bunch of episodes, the Foxcast.
Yeah, they stopped producing episodes.
They like pulled all their episodes down.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, it made me kind of sad.
Because we were talking about that, because they had given us some shouts out on the podcast, and we had given them some shouts out on the podcast and on our podcasts, and we had talked about like maybe reaching out to them at some point to do like a crossover or like a thing, and they're not there anymore.
Looks like it's just us and underneath the cardboard box now.
Yeah,
but
underneath the cardboard box.
Also, I don't know if we ever covered this in the past, and we may have.
Isaac's like, I hate you guys. I don't know if we've ever covered that before.
I'm just going to keep plugging that. I'm looking, and I mean, obviously I can't see like the full list of reviews, but did we see that we have Canadian reviews?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we did this already. Okay.
Oh shit!
I think so.
That was just America that I read then. So fuck.
Oh yeah. Oh, you mean we actually have reviews on the Canadian iTunes?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. No, we've definitely received like fan letters from Canadians, and like I think there's a review on the U.S. one from a Canadian.
Yeah, I went through like a big crusade back in.
Oh yeah, James, you weren't here for that. We Scorched Earth strategy talked about Canada.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, essentially, like I talked about how
James like I gotta go now.
Why?
Yeah. Canada was because they weren't writing in. We were
Yeah.
just like, Canada, if you're listening, write in, and they weren't.
We'd call 'em
And
out
then I was just like,
constantly.
It's like
But then
positive scorched earth.
they started doing it.
Yeah. But yeah, just so you guys are aware, the first, like the top 10, or excuse me, let me walk this back real quick. The top 5 most listened to episodes on iTunes for Metal Gear Mondays are all from season 1. So
It's interesting.
there's proof right there.
sense.
We got to fix those
Proof
fucking episodes.
in the fucking pudding. We needed to redo this shit.
So anyway, I feel like we've been rambling about correcting our mistakes. So lest we make another mistake, we should learn how to sign off again. Learn with us. James, I don't think you've ever done a sign off in a minute. Those were two conflicting things. I don't think you've done a sign off in a minute.
Accurate.
A minute.
Yeah, there you go. That was a spooky mistake.
That
right
was a
there.
very spooky mistake. I'm trying to figure out how to tee this
Tee
up.
me up.
What's the weirdest thing you've ever collected candy in as a child? Whenever you're going around collecting candy from door to door, did everybody do that? Do we have that shared experience, or?
Yeah. For real, my actual answer to this question is a legit red and white Christmas stocking.
Oh, that's amazing. That's great.
Yeah.
What about you?
I opted for. I just kept it simple. It was just a box.
Ooh.